Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Ned Reynolds, Mike the Intern, back in the studio on a Tuesday morning. So you kind of got to feel bad for Maryland because they've faced off with South Carolina 3 times now, and they have not been able to get into the Final Four.
Yeah, but no other team has beaten South Carolina either.
Yeah, it's very true as well.
So, yeah, and you knew it was going to happen. So, all the Gamecocks have done now is won 42 consecutive games over the last year and a half. 42 straight games. That's nowhere near the record, but nonetheless, that's a pretty doggone good streak. This Final Four that's coming up on Friday night at the American Airlines Arena in Dallas is a pretty doggone good women's Final Four. You have LSU and Iowa. They already qualified on Sunday. Last night, as you mentioned, South Carolina gets the win, and so does Virginia Tech. And you're saying, Virginia Tech, where'd they come from? Well, they have been a nationally ranked, higher level, nationally ranked team all season long, and they are very, very good. Last night in their ball games, South Carolina beats Maryland 85-74 in an absolutely 86-75, I should say, a terrific basketball game. And then in the nightcap, Virginia Tech holds off Ohio State 84-74. Really good ball game. So now you have the women's Final Four, which is just the opposite of the men. The ladies play on Friday night. The men play on Saturday night in the semifinals. Ladies play their championship Sunday afternoon. The men play their national championship on Monday night. First round matchups, LSU versus Virginia Tech. That'll be an excellent basketball game. And here's one that absolutely fascinates me. Iowa against South Carolina, 2 of the best individual players in the country. Caitlin Clark of Iowa and Aaliyah Boston of South Carolina. It just should be a terrific basketball game. That's the ladies' Final Four coming up this weekend.
Exciting stuff, but that also means it's coming to an end.
It is.
But also, we got one more tournament to talk about, and that's the NIT.
And their semifinals are tonight. Now, there's a bit of a change in the format of the NIT, which is the nation's oldest college basketball tournament, dating way back into the 1920s. Heretofore, it had always had the championships at Madison Square Garden, a big treat for all the players and so forth and so on. Well, attendance has been dwindling in recent years, even though the NIT is owned by the NCAA. They're the ones who govern it. Anyway, the site now has been moved to the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, and that's where they'll play the semifinals tonight. It'll be North Texas, University of North Texas out of Denton, Texas, against Alabama Birmingham. And, I beg your pardon, North Texas playing Wisconsin from the Big Ten Conference. And then the second game is Alabama Birmingham meeting Utah Valley. Not very many folks are familiar with Utah Valley. It's in Orem, Utah. They're, by today's standards, a recent Division I team, but they're playing pretty doggone well. And they have made the semifinals of the NIT. The championship of the NIT will be on Thursday night out at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas.
Last but not least, Texas. And this was pretty quick, as they newly named head basketball coach.
Yeah, they're going to stay with Rodney Terry. There had been some thought that Texas, because of Terry's total inexperience as a head coach, might be a gamble. And, of course, any coaching change is going to be a gamble. But Terry took the team over for Chris Beard, who was fired in December, and guided them all the way to the regional finals. We saw Texas play on Sunday in a terrific game. Terry is going to be rewarded with a 5-year contract as the head coach. He's not a kid. Rodney Terry's been around as an assistant coach his entire career. But now he's getting the job as a head coach. I think he'll do well as a very smart basketball guy.
Most of them have to be pretty damn smart to even get to that level. Opening day, less than 48 hours, my guy. It's good news.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Bring it on. Opening day, of course, is Major League Baseball. And this year, for the first time, it is on a Thursday, March 30th, and all the teams are opening up on the same day. That never used to be the case, Mike, because baseball is, of course, a tradition sport. And traditionally, the Cincinnati Reds were always the first team to play. That's because, allegedly, according to lore, that's where baseball began, in Cincinnati back in the mid to late 1800s. So they always got the honor of the opening day. Not the case anymore. All the teams will open up on Thursday. Many of them will take off Friday because that's your built-in rain date in case opening day is rained out. But nonetheless, it should be an awful lot of fun. Cardinals will open up in St. Louis, taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Royals will open up in Kansas City against the Minnesota Twins. Now, the Cardinals, I should say, did have their final preseason game, and it was yesterday in Florida. Played the Baltimore Orioles in the Orioles' home area. And indeed, the Cardinals have broken camp. They're headed north now. Cardinals won that one 8-2 with Jordan Montgomery getting the pitching help in this one. He's the guy who started the game and went 5 innings. That's what the Cardinals need, is pitching. They don't have a whole lot of it, and much of it is injured right now with Adam Wainwright on the shelf for probably about 2 or 3 weeks, and no telling about Jack Flaherty. He got shelled on Sunday. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And with the new season comes hope, and it always springs eternal in the human breast.
Royals had a pretty good spring training. You think that's going to equate to the regular season?
Mike, the Royals have broken camp out in Surprise, Arizona, and they are barnstorming. This is one of the few teams to do any barnstorming. That's playing extra games on their way north. They played the Texas Rangers in Dallas last night. Game ended up 4-4. So they ended the night game tie. They'll play again this afternoon. That'll be the final exhibition game for both those teams. Take tomorrow off, then open up the season on Thursday.
All right, so yesterday we talked about the MSU baseball Bears being kind of in a slump right now. Had kind of a strong start, and then it just kind of faltered from there, but they do get another shot at correcting the ship win.
Tonight, they will play at Hammons Field. It may be a bit on the cool side out there tonight, but the Bears will entertain Oral Roberts under the lights at 6:30. And you're right about the slump. The Bears have lost 6 in a row. This is a better team than that, but all teams in any sport always go through a down period, and the Bears are going through one right now. They can't seem to bring all facets of their game together. They hit, and they don't pitch, or they pitch well and don't hit. It's just one of those things. But fact remains, the Bears will play ORU tonight, and hey, get on out there and watch them. It's a pretty good baseball team.
Just bundle up, because it's going to be a little chilly. All right, last but not least, it's always good to see when we got a local guy make it to a major, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, and there is a local guy used to be a Bear star player playing in the big show now.
He is indeed. It's Big Luke Voigt. He has been signed to do a 1-year contract by the Milwaukee Brewers. He was with the San Diego Padres and the Washington Nationals last year and ended up with 22 home runs. He's a former Yankee and a former Cardinal, for that fact. With the Yankees during the COVID year, he hit 22 home runs over 60 games, and you would have thought that would have been a really hallmark figure for him, but evidently they didn't want to keep him. Anyway, with the Brewers, I should say, he signed a contract which was a minor league deal, which means he has to make the team. Well, he did. The Brewers instead opted to release Keyston Hiura, who was a rookie. He was a great rookie year and then hasn't ever reached that pinnacle since. They've decided to keep Luke Voigt with his 22 home runs and see if he can add some power to an already powerful lineup. This is a big deal for Big Luke.
Big deal for all of us who've been a big fan of his since he was a Cardinal. Ned, you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.